I also have been met with a lot of interesting questions of, oh, so this must be your dad's business. And I'm like, nah, not quite. And they're like, oh, is it your uncle's? And I'm like, not really. They're like, your husband. And I'm like, not, it's not my son's either. I don't have one.
The Luminous Life podcast is a show all about beauty without the BS. We're beauty business OGs, and we know that the secret to looking good is feeling great. We'll question beauty standards and share the behind the scenes of running a beauty business that puts your beauty first. Fun fact. Carlo Russo, wine and spirits right here, like on the bridge, the little wine store by the bridge. Over 75 years old.
That's crazy.
What's crazier, our prayers are answered, is that it is now owned by a woman.
Woo!
And that woman is here. Babita.
Hello.
The new owner of Carlo Russo Wine and Spirit World. Thank you for being with us
Thank
here.
you for having me. I'm really happy to be here.
And you know what's cool about Babita?
What?
She goes by Babz.
Coolest nickname.
That's how you know someone's going to be cool.
Yeah.
How the heck did you get here? How did you get into owning a wine store? Like, how did this all happen?
Well,
and can we be best friends?
We can be best friends. I'm here today to get you into wine. Actually, I've been sent from above.
Yeah,
Please,
I think so.
To
I think
help
it's
us
gonna
all dive
happen.
in.
You might be the
I
one.
know it's going to happen. You're going to be our Ho-Ho-Kus.
Wait, but did you see? She's like, it's going to
It's
happen.
happening.
This
It's
is a
actually
woman on a
happening
mission
right now.
Okay. How did you get into wine?
I got into wine through actually buying the store.
Okay.
It was before the store. You would not have caught me with a glass of wine anywhere. I certainly was really intimidated by wine.
Wow.
Really intimidated to, ask for a glass. I wouldn't even know what to ask for. I have read multiple wine menus and gone, no, I think I'll do tequila instead.
Right.
So, the store definitely has been an educational opportunity for me and my family, my husband. But it was a really weird story. If you had asked me a million years ago if I wanted to buy a wine store, if that was ever a thing I wanted to do, absolutely not. You could not convince me to get into wine and spirits. It's not something I was, initially passionate about. But there's something about this wine store that it was almost like there's no way I could not go for it.
So what was it?
The rich history. It's so Carlo Russo's Wine and Spirit World is really deeply rooted in the history of the Ho-Ho-Kus community. It's been around for over 75 years. I've met customers that are in their 60s to 70s that have done their high school summer, first job there, college summers there. It was so many of the people in this area's first introduction to wine. They are all wine enthusiasts, really, really passionate about wine, travel to vineyards around the world, and they got their footing in wine at this store. And it's just so interesting because they got their footing there, their kids have gotten their footing there, and now my first time at the store, it's magnetic. You walk through the door and you say, how can you not be passionate about wine because of the history of, what Carlo Russo has built, his son has built, and just, again, how deep-rooted they are in the community.
So it sounds like tradition's really important to you.
Oh, huge, huge. Legacy and tradition is important. I would say that bridging old and new has been a really interesting relationship that I've had with the store. So my parents came here from Guyana, so they obviously left their community to come here, and I grew up in an area where everyone I knew, their parents grew up in that area. They're now, surrounded by their parents' friends. Their grandparents grew up in that area. I didn't really have that opportunity. So being able to be part of something that's so deep-rooted in the community and has this legacy, I feel like I get to almost tag on to that story and have the opportunity to really grow it and really expand on it,
I can really, really relate to that because I'm a first-generation American. My parents are from South America, and everyone in my town where I grew up had been there for generations.
Right.
And I always wanted that, like, oh, my cousins live on the other street, and then my other cousins live on the other street, and then my aunt and uncle live on the street. And I think that you picked correctly because Ho-Ho-Kus is so rich in history, and there are so many people that you're like, oh, you didn't know that was so-and-so's aunt and all of that. but then the embrace from the community is beautiful. They want the people who invest their time here to win.
Yeah.
So I think you picked really, really well in
There's
terms
no
of
better
a community.
community.
How has it been? How's it been
fantastic.
getting to know
It's
everybody?
Been fantastic. It's exciting because there's two sides of the community from what I'm seeing, right? There's the side that has existed here for a really long time. They've raised their families here. They've got grandkids. And then there's the younger generation that are all young business owners that are coming in with wide eyes and dreams and looking to really find their footing. And the community that has existed is so welcoming. And they're so excited. They're so excited for us. They want to share their history with us. And they've got all these tips and tricks. And I love spending time with them. And they point out to different buildings. And this used to be our town center. This used to be the old firehouse. This used to be this.
So cute, yeah.
And I think being able to see what it was through their lens and see how excited they are to watch it grow has been really nice. But they've definitely been really welcoming and full of enthusiasm as well about the fact that there's a woman at the store.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear it.
I love it.
Absolutely
love it.
It was like, stop the presses. What? I came back to Luminous. I was like, everybody needs to know a woman owns the liquor store now. And I think it really, to your point about like not knowing a lot about wine, like I don't know a lot about wine and I don't see myself in that world, right? Like I don't feel included in the wine conversation. But now that I know that a woman owns a store and then I can go ask any questions I want, like what's a good bottle of wine that's also cute?
Yep.
Like that's important to me.
Yeah, of course.
Whereas I think in some stores that's been like, shunned that I want a cute bottle of wine, but I want a cute bottle of wine.
The thing about Carlo Russo's versus, going to a larger liquor, wine or spirits store, it's very factory over there. They're trying to get you in and trying to get you out because they're looking at numbers.
Right.
Our store is and has always been about wine education. It's one of the, early stores in the area to start doing wine tours to Europe.
Oh, wow.
They have a lot, Carlo Russo had a lot of amazing relationships with winemakers and vineyards in what is called the Old World, which is like Spain, Italy, France. So it's really different, and there's a lot more personality and one-to-one relationships there. We enjoy coming in, and the thing about wine is it's just endless stories, right? Like every bottle is its own story. So if we want customers that are going to come in and that are interested in the backstory. Every staff member at the store is educated in what the wine tastes like and what the backstory to the vineyard and the region is. So if you come in and you ask us for a bottle of wine, we're excited to share. We're excited to share because we're excited about the story. We want you to be excited because you're about to take somebody else's story home with you and share it with your friends and family and create a story there in itself in that evening or at that dinner or at that moment. So we're definitely looking to create and further the hub for wine education that it's been and expand on that, especially with the younger community who is I think from what I'm hearing and understanding, intimidated by wine.
What you said at the beginning, like I'm still just ordering the dirty martini because I love it. It's easy and it's safe. I am so intimidated by wine.
Yep.
And I feel like if I am buying a bottle of wine, because it is just like a good hostess gift or like you want to get together with friends, it's easy, everybody can enjoy it. I'm like, I think it's good. I hope. I'm like, let me just go a little higher in price point because then maybe it's good.
Right.
No clue. So to hear that I can walk down the street and I won't be like shunned or like, oh my God, this girl knows fucking nothing. You know what I mean? No, let me tell you a little bit or, learning about it. That's awesome, that perspective. So I can speak to the young people like I have no fucking clue. So I'm excited.
Teach us. What do we need to know?
One, you need to know what was the first thing that like I'm a little embarrassed to share that I learned, that things like Chardonnay and Pinot Noir, those are the names of the grapes. So I didn't know that. That was baseline information that I feel like everybody knew, but me somehow. So I think what you need to know and is super important is that it's subjective and that there is no wrong answer to wine. I used to be really afraid to speak up when I was in a circle of people and they're like, oh, I'm tasting, green apple or I'm tasting
or oak.
Yeah. Oh, this is oaky. This is really oaky. and you get kind of like embarrassed to speak up. I certainly did. And my husband will always say, well, you have an amazing palate. You should just say. And from what I have come to accept is that there really is no wrong answer, because if you're in a circle of 5 to 10 people and you swirl your glass of wine and you sip it and you're like, well, I taste, deep plum in here. At least one other person in the store is going to go, yes, or in that circle, they're going to go, yes, I taste that.
Yeah.
I taste that too, right? And it's kind of like cilantro.
Right.
Some people love cilantro and some people are like, that tastes like soap.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's really subjective, kind of like salt. Some people are like, this is really salty. And some people are like, can you just a little bit more on that? It's not enough. And they're just like,
Yeah.
It's really subjective. There is no wrong answer. It's really opinion based. And the other thing is great wine doesn't have to be expensive. And that's a really big part of the ethos at Carlo Russo's is you can come in and say, I want to give a great gift and I'm on a budget. And we're like, well, lucky for you, most of our great gifts are for people who are balling on a budget. Come on in, and we're here to show you that great wine doesn't have to be expensive. Just like you can enjoy, and be satisfied by a Michelin star meal. I can get the same satisfaction from dollar pizza on the curb of New York City at 2 a.m. Okay.
You have to be a foodie. First hint was that your husband says you have a great palate.
Yeah.
But also to be able to get into the wine and the deep plum and the oak and all that stuff, there has to be like a foodie component to this.
I love to eat, but I love to cook. I love to cook and curate menus, especially for my friends during COVID, when we couldn't go out. I was looking to create all types of fusion dishes and pair them and pick different countries. And it was, and I'm also a graphic designer. So I love to design my menus. So it's a one-stop shop. If you guys are coming over, I'm making your meal. I'm
Bring
designing the table. Just come on over and you're going to get everything, including wine now. Wine with a story that is approachable and of good quality and price.
I think when you're saying that wine is subjective, I think in saying that alone, that gives permission for a lot of people who haven't stepped into wine to really be able to go, okay, if it's subjective, if I'm not going to get the answer wrong, right? If you say there's green apple in it and I don't taste the green apple, my instinct is to go, I don't fucking taste the green apple. I obviously don't know what I'm doing. I'm just going to shut the fuck up. Yeah. But by saying it's subjective, it really gives people permission to experience wine in their own way.
I mean,
so thanks for that.
Yeah.
I feel
you
liberated
don't need the
a little bit.
You should just take the reins. Yeah. Take the reins as with anything else. If you were to go order a cup of coffee, right, and you're like, I want oat milk, and another person's like, well, I want almond milk, and someone's like, you guys are having almond milk? Like, I want whole milk in mine, or I like it black. It's no different with coffee, with wine. It's like the same thing with everything else. You can do whatever you want. You can like whatever you want, and anybody who tells you otherwise is probably why the wine industry is dying.
There you go. And you're going to revive it. I believe single-handedly with the women of Ho-Ho-Kus.
I'm excited. I cannot wait.
Maybe even just the women of Luminous can revive the whole industry.
Wine Wednesday is here every Wednesday.
Yeah.
Done. Check. Like, we are working on it.
Great.
What are you feeling is happening with the wine industry? You're saying it's dying, but I'm also hearing this thing that there are more female winemakers.
Women in wine is a movement right now. I feel really fortunate to have had the opportunity to buy the store at this time because women are doing amazing things in wine. Really reputable winemakers that have been around for a really long time are handing the reins to women, and they are bringing in all women staff. It's just any woman winemaker that I have met has, like I said, wine is a collection of stories and personalities. The way that they share their passion and the way that they share their stories, it is exceptional. It's almost, it's art and poetry in a bottle for them. And not that it isn't for male winemakers, but when you're speaking to a woman, you can truly feel the passion come through. I had the opportunity to meet this amazing woman. Her name was Katerina Kornakia. She comes from a line of barons, I believe. I might be mistaken on that, but I do believe it was a line of barons from Spain. Wow. And when she came and she was talking about being handed a legacy that has been around for centuries and that she has a daughter and she's looking to pass that down to her daughter and that she grew up, around the barrels and the grapes and jumping into the grapes as a kid and just the way that the women winemakers are taking that emotion and putting it into their wine is really exceptional. You know, it's very cool to see.
Listening to you talk, like, you can clearly see you're passionate about it. I can see the excitement, like, you're where you're meant to be. But I am curious, did you feel pressure in the beginning to, like, continue with the legacy, to step into the industry where you didn't know much about it? Or was it always excitement?
I think it was always excitement.
Wow.
It sometimes feels like a heavy responsibility.
Okay.
Right? It's almost as if it was my own legacy, you know, and now it is my own legacy as I'm part of the story. But, you know, balancing bringing modern ideas into a very well-established legacy, it's a delicate dance, right? Because especially being young, right? You come in, you've got all these ideas. Oh, this is what you used to do. Well, this is what we should be doing. Why haven't we been doing that? And it's really easy to fall into that trap and spiral. And the one thing I've learned is there's knowledge in both directions, right? They made it this far, the people who've come before us, because of their wealth of knowledge and their experiences. And even though I have this new wealth of knowledge and new experiences that I want to add on, you can't eliminate what has been done. And you have to find a way to really blend them together beautifully. It's a delicate dance, and I'm dancing. I'm in it. I have a lot of love for the Ho-Ho-Kus community because of how welcoming they have been. And because of how loving the community has been, it's made the dance a lot easier. You know, it makes you go, man, I really want to continue doing what they've been doing in the way that they've been doing it. If you go to a regular store, right, things are streamlined in a certain way, right? And they've got steadfast rules on no returns and, you know, they don't swap and just different things. You know, we're pretty flexible at the store. If you were to have a wedding and you're like, I don't really know what I'm doing. I've got, you know, 500 guests or 400 guests and I don't really know what they drink and I'm kind of ballparking things. We've got a rule at the store where it's like, look, we're gonna put together a selection for you. If things are not opened and they're in good condition, return them. Just bring it back to the store. And then that's kind of the perk of having a smaller store in town, right?
That's right.
You're building relationships. You're part of their story. We're not trying to give anyone a hard time. We're trying to make this as easy and enjoyable for you as possible because buying wine is a to-do on the list of many people when they're like, you know, I think about it all the time as a host, right? When I'm going to the store to buy a bottle of wine or to buy any type of liquor, that's one of my stops for the day. I have a million things to get done. I've got to go to Trader Joe's, probably also Stu Leonard's, probably, you know, Amazon. I've got a million things to do. So I'm here at the wine store and I'm here to pick something for people that I don't even really know what they like. So the experience should be enjoyable. You shouldn't walk in and feel like, oh, you know, that why did they make that so hard for me? You know, why did they judge me through selecting? I don't know. I don't know what the difference between a good Pinot and a good Cab is. Like, I don't know. Help me.
Right.
And that's what we look to do at the store. We're here to educate. We're patient with you. We've got time. You want to tell us about all the people coming to your event? Let us know who they are and then come back and tell us how did it go?
But I think there's such a sensibility in that there, and not just sensibility, a sensitivity, right? Because what you're talking about is a lot of young people come in, right? Sometimes they can bulldoze through things and go, put everything on the computer, you know, like make it splashy, get a neon sign, all of that. But the reverence, because the way that you talk about Carlo Russo, the way that you talk about Chuck and his father, the way that you talk about the respect that you have for the Ho-Ho-Kus community is with reverence. And it didn't start here. So I want to dig a little bit more into where did you learn to become so reverent and so much about like honoring tradition? Because I think that's something really, really special and not always found in business owners and entrepreneurs. We can bulldoze a little bit.
Okay. Well, we can go super deep. It starts with being Guyanese, to be honest.
Okay.
It starts there, and then it gets bigger than that. But I would say I'm Indo-Guyanese. I'm Indo-Caribbean, right? So my family were once from India, right? They left and came over to the Caribbean, you know, to work during a time of indentureship, and part of that is holding on to our Indian identity from in a very far away land, right? So holding on to tradition is really deep rooted in being Guyanese. It's really important to not lose touch with where we've come from. As I've gotten older, I've come to see that India has westernized and moved with time. But in Guyana, you'll find really traditional Indian practices and thinking. And so I would say from just being Guyanese, having respect for tradition and, looking to our past for answers is a huge part of who I am. And then it goes to my parents. My parents are traditional, and I think I'm really, really fortunate to have, my mom who, no matter, I'm the oldest of two girls, and it didn't matter what she had going on at home, whether, she was working and helping with our family business, or it didn't matter what it was. She never let us lose touch with the culture. The classic immigrant mentality of, and not just immigrant, but it is a classic immigrant mentality. Just having respect for your elders, having respect for where you come from, not forgetting. I didn't watch a lot of American TV growing up. I didn't listen to really any American music growing up. Yeah. And it was a fear my mom had of us losing touch with the culture. We're surrounded by American culture, whether we like it or not being here. And it's amazing. It's a great culture to be a part of, but it's easy to lose touch with your roots when you're not surrounded by your community.
For sure. And I feel like sometimes parents also, when they come here, right, families, they want their kids to Americanize or they want them to fit in. So you kind of lose your way through the old traditions and holding on to those roots. So that's beautiful that your mom was like, no, you're going to stay true and we're going to, listen to the music and watch the TV shows. And then the American stuff, it seeps in naturally, right?
It's there. It's already there, right? You're at school 8 hours a day, right? You're around it. And so
this is just such a reminder that we're all more alike than we are different, right? Like we're sitting here, the three of us. You have had a similar tradition in terms of like maintaining traditions in your family. I've had that similar thing. But I think what it does is that it does bring that respect to the institution that you're in, whether that's America or whether that's Carlo Russo's wine and spirit world. Because like that, you don't alienate anybody, right? It's like the respect your elders. And it's also like, look to the young people and see what they're doing. They've got some new and exciting stuff. So it's really exciting to talk to you because I'm like, oh, I get a glimpse behind the curtain of like what's cool in the wine world and how I can find myself in the wine world. Or at least, at the very least, if I'm not going to become a wine drinker, I'm going to be able to bring a rich, storied bottle of wine to someone's home as a gift. And that's, I think that's super exciting. What's it been like to be a woman in the wine world?
It's curious. It's curious. I think I've had a variety of experiences. Obviously, I've been very welcomed and with this level of excitement of how cool it is to have a woman in the store. I also have been met with a lot of interesting questions of, so this must be your dad's business. And I'm like, nah, not quite. And they're like, oh, is it your uncle's? And I'm like, not really. They're like, your husband. And I'm like, not, it's not my son's either. I don't have one. Okay. So I do get that sometimes. And then, of course, they're a little, I don't know if it's that I'm, 5 feet, maybe that has something to do with it, or I cover my grays well, maybe that as well. But I do get those questions and the eyebrow raise of like, how did you, young lady, get here?
Yeah.
And are you legal?
Right. Are you even old enough to drink?
Yeah. So I do get that. But I think the cool thing about being a woman in the wine world right now is that it's happening everywhere. It's happening everywhere, and I'm part of what feels like a pivotal moment in the wine world. So it's been, again, fantastic and welcoming. And in the Ho-Ho-Kus community, there's so many female business owners. So I kind of feel like I'm part of a little club here, which is cool. And everyone's got their own spice and their own flavor. And so when we all get together, I can say, I'll bring the wine.
It's so cool. And it's Wine Wednesdays. I feel like it's Wine Wednesdays every day. I think you got to come up with wine words for every day.
I can find a lot of different things for us to do.
I've noticed you walking a lot in town. What's up with that?
we drink a lot of wine at the store.
Yeah.
And so my Mondays through Thursdays entail having reps come to the store, and they will come with winemakers from around the world, local winemakers from California. And I start my days off at 10 a.m. with delicious wine, sometimes 12 bottles at a time. Sometimes we have 5 meetings a day. I'm like, you know what? I'll walk around town. There's no need to drive. I live 5 minutes away. Mm-hmm. I'll walk here. There's no need for me to drive because some of these wines are so fantastic. You can obviously sip and spit. But I recently tried a wine that once retailed for $300 a glass in Japan.
Whoa.
You don't spit that kind of wine.
No.
You don't spit that kind. That's a rare opportunity. Yeah. Right. So you never know how many of those you're going to come into in a day. And so
How was it? I have to know.
Exceptional.
Wow.
It was exceptional even before they told me that it retailed at $300 a glass.
You already knew it.
Once you get into it, at first everything just tastes like alcohol and fermented grapes, But sort of once you get into it, you can tell the difference between a great wine and an okay wine.
Do you guys sample at the store?
We do tastings on Saturdays. Every single Saturday, 12 to 6. We sometimes have winemakers come in, reps come in. But every Saturday, 12 to 6, you can come in and we have a curated selection based on the season, based on what's trending. And it's a fantastic experience. It's not your average come in and taste and get out. You come in, hang out with us, spend some time. Let's talk about what's going on and try some great wines.
From 12 to 6 on Saturdays. That's a good
Every
time.
Saturday.
That's amazing. What do we need to know going into the holidays?
I'm so glad you asked about this because I just jumped into this. During the holidays, we really ramp up on gifting. We do a lot of customized gifting. We curate gift baskets. We curate gift boxes. Any price point that you want, we do all of the packaging and the shipping for you. If you have a list, if you're
That's amazing.
Yeah, right.
Hold on.
Right.
Let's breathe on that. Can you say that again? Wow.
It's during the holidays, we do all types of gifting and we curate your custom packaging. We'll select the wines for you. We handle packaging and shipping. So,
okay. All right, I
We make
know
it
where I'm
very
doing
easy.
my holiday shopping.
Right?
Wow. Okay.
and we make it really easy. We'll select for you if you don't know what you want. If you give us your budget, we'll pick for you. And if you don't know what the preferences are, if you even just know what they like to eat, we'll select wines based off of pairings. Just if you told us what you went out to eat recently and you enjoyed together.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
And you know what? I feel so confident about it. Like, I know some people who are into wine, that they're just shy of sommeliers, but I feel so confident with you that I'll be like, look, this is the bottle that we had at this dinner that we had 2 years ago. Pick something, let's send it. But that you'll ship it is a freaking dream.
It's a one-stop shop.
That's
We'll
incredible.
put a personalized note in there for you.
What's your point of view on curating? How will you do that? How?
So the art of curating is it requires patience and interest in personality, right? So curating wines is like curating really anything else. It's a conversation. I get to know you. I get to know a little bit about you. I get to know what you like, what you don't like. If you don't know, I get to know you in other ways. I get to know what you like to eat. I get to know what you like to do for fun. And that allows me to select, or anyone at the store to select, what's best for you. The art of curating is simply about patience and about conversation. It really is that. It's no different than if you were, it's about building trust. The art of curating is about building trust. You ever go to a hairstylist, new hairstylist, your old hairstylist is out of town. You're like, coming in with your Pinterest board. I want this haircut. I need this angle. I want this shade of brown in my hair. You're freaking out. You don't even read. You're not listening to your music. You're paying attention to everything she does. It goes great. You trust her now. You come back the next time. What do you want, miss? Anything.
Do whatever you want.
Anything you want, right?
That's it.
That's kind of the art of curating. You come in. We talk a little bit. I get to know about what you like, what you don't like. We build a little trust. I make some suggestions. You go home. I can almost guarantee you're going to like it. Okay?
So
you come
good.
back and then you say, Babz, pick whatever you'd like. I enjoyed myself the last time. That is the art of curating.
And it's the art of client service.
Yeah.
And it's the art of building relationships with the people walking down the street. I mean, it's brilliant.
That's why I'm not afraid and more excited about being in this business. I'm really excited because I love people. I love people. I love getting to know people. I love being a part of their story. And even though to some, coming in and buying a bottle of wine might feel like a to-do on their list, I'm really glad that we get to be part of that story. We get to be part of the dinner. We get to be part of the celebration. We get to be part of the birthday, the anniversary. You know, we had a customer come in recently who asked for some wines from Tuscany and from a specific vineyard. I was like, why so specific? He had a friend who, his mom got really sick and they had a trip to Tuscany, him and his wife, and they had to cancel the trip abruptly. And so in order to make up for the loss of experience, he was like, we are throwing him a Tuscany-themed night. We're getting bottles from the vineyard he would have visited. And we're making all these traditional, you know, home-style Tuscan meals. And we're having him over, him and his wife.
That's so cool.
It was really cool to kind of be part of that, you know, part of that story instead of
Did you hear how it went?
It was fantastic. They always come back. They always come back at our store. They always come back to share how it went, how was the dinner, how was the celebration. And it's really nice. It makes the days not feel long, you know.
You know, we always say, because we're here in a beauty business, even though client service is similar, it's a different business, right? We always say that the thing that makes women the most beautiful is when their eyes are shiny, when they're passionate about what they're talking about, right? And you right now, my friend, are glowing. You are spectacularly beautiful.
Thank you.
What's your relationship with beauty? What do you think is beautiful? And how do you care for yourself while you're working on this business and doing all the things?
I'm really glad you asked. I just did a mask yesterday. So where do I start? Start from the top. What was the first question?
What is your relationship with beauty?
It's if you met my mother, you would know it's a very deep relationship. Caring for herself. My mom has taught me at a very young age that life can be really stressful, and taking care of yourself is the best way to really get through stress. And not in the vein like, oh, well, you have to look good all the time.
Right.
Looking good makes me feel good, right? And my mom definitely taught me that if my nails are done, my hair is done, you know, my skin looks great, I've got a good outfit on, it doesn't matter what I have ahead of me, I am set up for success. And so, you know, I've seen my mom really take on difficult days and difficult moments and difficult tasks looking fantastic. And so I've really emulated that. I usually look my best when I'm my most stressed. And it helps me thrive. It helps me thrive. I can have a lot on my plate, and when I go to the bathroom to wash my hands right before doing something and I look up in the mirror and I see who I am, I'm like, oh yeah, I've got this in the bag.
So you feel beauti
Oh, I certainly feel beautiful. I'm my mother's daughter, okay?
Go, girl.
I'm my mother's daughter. If I didn't feel beautiful, I think she would probably be like, hello.
What did I do?
Hello. You know, I can't think that my mom is beautiful and not think that I'm, you know, I'm not. So.
How beautiful.
So
then how do you take care of your beauty?
A lot of home DIY remedies.
Love.
I'm really big on like traditional Indian home secrets, which are no longer really secrets. They're kind of circulating everywhere.
Can you share with us?
But yes, I have an aunt locally, and more of a friend, not an aunt. I think an aunt is insulting. She's a great friend who makes me a homemade mask once a month. She puts turmeric, chickpea flour, rice flour, saffron.
Wow.
She puts, you know, vitamin E, yogurt, you name it. It is a concoction. She went to Thailand for 6 months. I had her make me a vat before she left.
And you do it on your skin?
I put it on my face, and it sits there for 15 minutes. It naturally exfoliates, brightens, evens your skin tone. That is so cool. Fantastic.
And you feel like hot shit afterwards.
Oh my God. And I feel exotic when I'm putting it on versus like, you know, I love a good sheet mask, right?
Yeah.
But you put a sheet mask on and I like walk around feeling like the Wicked Witch of the West.
Yeah. It feels like a sheet mask.
Yeah, it feels like a sheet mask.
Yeah.
It's overstimulating.
It doesn't feel like
it's
magic.
Cold.
Right.
You know, I put this mask with saffron in it.
Yeah.
And
That's so cool.
feel like a princess.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
and then I have this coconut oil that, you know, sometimes I'll put rosemary on my scalp, rosemary oil, then I'll put this coconut oil that's got a little jasmine scent in it. And, you know, it feels like I'm giving myself an ancient royal treatment. And
I love that.
There's this other thing that I do, which has been really, it's had a huge impact on how I feel about myself. It's this thing called abhyanga, which is an oil massage that I do every night before I shower. I heat sesame oil just like lightly, and I give myself a full body massage every night. And I take a shower after sitting in it for a few minutes. My skin is soft, supple. I feel like royalty. And
That's
it de-stresses me.
I want to do that.
I want to do it too. I think there are these moments. I had one other conversation with Babz before this, and there's this moment that comes over me that I am like fully in the present moment, and this is what we're here for. Holy shit. Like the divine is here. You feel like royalty because you are giving big queen energy.
Thank you.
In the most holy of ways, Babz, I'm going to tell you. I don't even need to know what your relationship is with the holy, but you're giving that and you're bringing that right down the street to Carlo Russo, but to bring it here to this table to share this with us. I'm going to toast sesame oil and see if I can channel my inner queen energy when I need it. And maybe I'm going to get to know your aunt so that I can get some of that saffron turmeric mask.
Consider it done.
Because if I could be around this energy every day, this is what we try to embody here every day. We try to remind people that the beauty stuff, the outer beauty stuff it's good stuff, but it's the big queen energy that we're really going for in the world. I'm floored and I'm grateful to know you. And
thank you.
I'm so glad that you would spend this time with us and
Thank
share
you so much for having me.
your story with us and your beauty tricks.
Oh yeah,
with us.
absolutely.
Yeah, so happy you're down the block now.
Oh yeah, I'll be seeing you.
We'll be
guys all the
popping
time.
in, yeah.
You might be sick of us. We do
can't
sort
wait.
of like
can't
you
wait.
do get you'll be like, oh, it's just the Luminous girls
I cannot wait.
picking up another bottle.
Yeah, we're gonna have to start a tab for you guys.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me, guys. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for listening to the Luminous Life podcast. If you're in North Jersey and looking for beauty that feels like therapy, come visit us at the store. You can always follow us on your favorite podcast app or check us out on YouTube.